What's going on, everybody? I gotta tell you. If cold days ahead are this good, then I'm gonna go pop on a jacket and wear that shit for the rest of time. This comic, I don't know, man. Tom King. I can understand his sort of like golden boy status at DC right now. I understand him appearing on a late show. I can't remember which one, and I don't watch him, and I don't care about him. But good for him. Good for him. So, damn, I'm really gonna gloss over a lot of the dialogue, but short answer, go get this. This is really good. But let's look at this cover. I like this because these guys. I don't want to ruin Batman for you, but it's the same guy. You know what? That has happened to someone. I mean, are we all born knowing that Bruce Wayne is Batman? I feel like it's ingrained in us, but I'm sure for some kids like, wait, what? Who? But he's such a playboy. And I gotta tell you, this orange, I'm not with it at all. I don't know. I like everything about it but the orange. Orange doesn't symbolize cold to me. It symbolizes sun-kissed. So it's delicious. Batman in his trial should not be delicious. So we're getting into this, and you know what I realized? This is like a procedural. This is like a whodunit. It's like an episode of Law and Order, but Mr. Freeze is on trial, and I'm into it. You know what? That just might be Gotham. I think I just described Gotham. But, you know, Law and Order has been around a lot longer than Gotham, and let's Law and Order probably needs to spice it up. I haven't watched Law and Order in a long-ass time, but I feel pretty, you know, accurate in saying they need to spice their shit up. So, we begin with a woman on the jury. Bruce, I mean, I don't want to give a complete synopsis. Go watch the other video about it. Or go read it. Just go fucking read. Is it that difficult? But we see the woman, she's laying out the 3 basic pieces of evidence. Number 1, 3 bitches are dead. I mean, but realistically, 3 bitches could be dead at any moment, at any given time. And all their brains had a lower brain temperature. That was the cause of death. Police missed it. Batman caught it. But it was later independently confirmed by the police. It's like Clue, man. It's like Clue. 2, the police and presumably Batman looked for Freeze after this discovery, and they found him with his suit on, his gun at the ready. His probation specifically stopped or prohibited it. Which I can't help but thinking, that's pretty funny. Like, just picture, like, Mr. Freeze in a room, or just picture, just let my words wash over you. Okay? Just like you see a person in probation, they're a very bad guy, and go, hey, you can't wear that suit you really like. And they're like, oh, gee, come on. Like, it's just funny to be like, hey, and by the way, that suit that you love, that Brooks Brothers suit, that sailor suit, put a kibosh on it. You can't wear it. You're on probation. It's just a funny stipulation of probation. If you remove the, like, super villain, well, I don't think Mr. Freeze is a super villain. Definitely a villain aspect of it. It's just like, hey, you can't wear your suit. How many clothes does he have? Does Mr. Freeze even have clothes? I just picture him in the suit at all times. Has he just got some, like, blue old-ass Hanes boxer briefs with holes in them? I don't know, it's weird. 3, he confessed. And you gotta know, never confess. I've seen so much shit where the cops just bully you into confessing. No. Yeah, that's going to stop the police from bullying you, but then your butthole's going to get bullied in prison, so do not do that shit. He said he was experimenting on women. Of course, Mr. Freeze is just turning people into popsicles all the time. He can say it's about saving his dead wife. There's some sexual stuff going on here that probably stems from his childhood. Something to do with a popsicle. I don't really want to spell it out for you, but just use your own imagination. So, she's like, look, those are the facts. And Bruce, he's not so sure. He's like, look, I want to discuss it. And these people, they're like, look, we have real lives, so we can't just be playboying around. Playboying around. Now, this is an aspect of Bruce Wayne that I feel like gets really underdeveloped in a lot of comics I've read, where they don't commit to him being a playboy bit at all. Like, most of the time Bruce is in business stuff or completely closed off from the rest of society, and when they have him just closed off like that, it's like, of course he's Batman. I feel like in year 1, they really made an effort to make it seem like he was a playboy, but I don't know. Just, if you're reading this current run, does Tom King commit to the Playboy thing? Does he have, like, arm candy on him at all times, or what? So, Bruce says, like, look, let's just go over these 3 facts, put them into context, and I want to flesh this thing out. I want to have a discussion, but at the end of it, if I haven't swayed you, I'll change my vote, which, yeah. I don't know if that's really how justice should work. I don't know, but, that's the way he's doing it. Also, quick side note, tell me why I don't need to see this in theater. Because all signs are pointing to yes. My shark boner is at maximum chub. I'm getting some gene rub on the seams. It's very uncomfortable. I imagine, is that a problem for guys? I feel like most of you guys are grown men that aren't just popping shark boners all the time, but if you are, is gene rub an issue? But, I'll skip this page over here because it's not as cool, but whenever they go on the breaks, you see, like, a one-page panel of the interaction between Batman and Mr. Freeze. That, you know, is the linchpin to this whole thing, but it has dialogue on Bruce interacting with the other jurors. This first one, it ain't that great, but I will be sharing the other ones. So, okay, so they're talking about it. They reference how the coroner, who's apparently very good at his job, missed the lower brain temperature. But Batman found it. And Bruce is questioning, like, how could that be? It's very possible that someone got in between the time of the coroner and Batman finding it, could have placed some evidence of a lower brain temperature in order to frame Mr. Freeze. He's like, it's possible. You can't convict a man on assumptions, but if we're gonna be real, we do that shit all the time. OJ was innocent, and he remains innocent to this day. But so he's constantly questioning. He's like, why do we trust Batman's word? And he's like, this guy's just like, because he's Batman, he's better. And Bruce, this whole thing, he's basically putting Batman on trial in the jury room, where I feel like it's probably been a thing in the previous issues, where Batman is having these really conflicting feelings about how the work he's doing as Batman. Batman is the most conflicted character of all time, tragic hero, all that. So it's a way of him gauging the public opinion on him, and when everybody's like, oh, he's great, he's like, why? He wants answers that he can only get as Bruce Wayne. Answers he can only get from just regular, run-of-the-mill dummies who couldn't avoid jury duty. And he's getting crazy with them. He's pounding on a table, and it's like, whoa. That's the cities. You don't need to be doing that shit. So, he's like, look, if there's doubt that somebody got in between the time Batman and the coroner, then we can't convict him for that. And then we take another break. And look at this panel. Holy shit. Lee Weeks. There ain't nothing weeks about this. Look at that. That's just like, it's fucking beautiful. So he's talking to this guy named Fred who used to live in Metropolis. And he's like, yeah, it's nice. Nice there. It is. It's not like here. Well, the weather's better. And Fred's like, no. It's more like everything's clean there, man. I'm telling you. Here, it's dirty as anything. That's because Superman is super sweeping the shit at all times. I mean, Superman is a super janitor. You can't say that he isn't, because he would excel at everything he does. So, I imagine he's just sweeping the entire city. When somebody's not getting mugged, or alien invasion, or whatever. Maybe he's got some Krypton Roombas just going around, invisible to the naked eye, cleaning shit up. And so, Fred's like, I mean, somebody coming in here and messing with some dead girls? That's not Metropolis, that's what I'm saying. But maybe that's Gotham. And I feel like Fred's basically saying, oh, we ain't got no damn necrophiliacs in Metropolis. And I'm like, is that because you left Metropolis? Because you talking about necrophiliacs is exactly what a necrophiliac would say. I'm just saying, Fred. Maybe you don't want to talk about fucking dead people with Bruce Wayne. Have a little bit of decorum. But, I mean, just forget about me being stupid for a second. Just look at this. This is so crazy. And it's only like 3 colors. Black, blue, and white. And it's just, this is better than anything I could ever do with just these 3 colors. It's incredible. This comic is worth getting for the art alone. Also, I keep seeing this fucking advertisement for the 2000s. I haven't watched any of the other CNN stuff. I plan on it, but look at Missy Elliott's stupid fucking face on an iPod. Yeah, that's really... Wow, that's some good advertising. I'm sure the 60s had like JFK or Martin Luther King, and then 2000s has fucking Missy Elliott looking like she just woke out of a sleep apnea fit. So, the next thing is, they're like, look, Mr. Freeze, he was wearing his suit, he was ready for the Batman. And he is not supposed to wear his suit. That was a whole big thing where everyone went, you can't wear your suit. And then Mr. Freeze was like, I don't have any other clothing. And I'm like, tough shit, dude. And so they're saying, look, he had his gun, he had his suit, he was ready to fucking throw down with the Batman. And Bruce is like, look, Batman doesn't talk. Batman doesn't just talk to anybody. Batman's a force of nature, and especially when they have a couple run-ins. Like, I have never been in a fight before, gotten real close. I have punched someone, and I broke his tooth. Shout out to, like, 12-year-old Lindsey, whoop whoop, but I gotta say, if I've been entangled in repeated fights with the same person, eventually there's gonna be no preamble. I'm just gonna go where I gotta go, and then we're just gonna fight. There's gonna be no talking. So he's like, so then the other jurors are like, look, it's Mr. Freeze. Who gives a shit? And he's like, look, had a right to defend himself. And when the Batman's coming, Batman doesn't chit-chat. Batman's not coming over for tea sickles with Mr. Freeze. It's not fucking happening. And he's like, look, he could have just been defending himself. And then we get another one of these where they take a break. Just look at this. Still, like, 3 colors. What, it's incredible. Also, this dialogue's really good. Just go get it. I don't know how many times I gotta say it. And eventually he tells a story involving the death of his parents, which seemed kind of out of character from all the Batman I read. Very reclusive, very doesn't like to talk about it, or doesn't talk about it in detail. But he shares it with his jurors, but you could say that that's a little bit of, like, character development, or maybe this is just, like, a newer take on Batman, so I'm not going to hold that against him. It was just sort of like, I was like, whoa, dude. If I encountered some tragedy like that, zip, you're never gonna, I didn't even have parents at all to begin with. I was a test tube baby. Yes, that means my mother and father were test tubes. And then eventually we end with this lady. It's like, look, your entire argument, all your context, it only works if the Batman is bad. And look at her. She looks like she'll cause problems everywhere she goes. She looks like she's had cankles her entire life. Cankle life shout out. But she's like, look, all your stuff is, you're demanding we have without doubt one that you haven't proven because everyone here knows it is true. You're saying that Batman is wrong or bad, incompetent, horrible, out of control. You're saying Batman is not the hero we Gotham thinks he is. And she's like, can you prove it? He's like, yeah. Which is like, this is some, like, weird identity crisis thing going on here with Batman, and I love it. I don't like this cover, but I love it. Now I gotta go watch some fucking Law & Order and be real disappointed.